usually you have this is the point, right? And then this is spawn. This is like point C, and this is the point that people usually care about. So usually point team has two groups. So we have like, just say we have two groups here for blue team. And let's draw bonfire as like a yellow triangle or something like that. So usually like defenders have two groups here. They have a quad here, they have a quad here, a quad here, a quad here. And then they have one kill squad here, and then they have three kill squads looking to wrap this way. But what's happening on attack right now is the team that we're against, they're doing two here, they're doing 1, 1, 1, 1. This side has two, this side has two. And then they're also, instead of like using their players to like naturally wrap, which has been the meta for a long time, they're having just spears just come inside and sit on the point. So it's becoming like very, very clustered on the point. And then the main issue that this 2-2-2 kind of comes up with is what this effectively does is it splits the point in half. Because the blue team can win any crash on this side because we have 3. Assuming our 3 actually plays close to the point, and the red team wins any crash on this side. So effectively, we end up in a spot that looks like this. That's a bad circle. That's also a bad circle. That's a better circle, but still not great, but we'll deal with it for now. Where we have blue playing in this space, and we have red playing in this space, and then this also extends off point a bit, so red is also owning, generally speaking, this area, and then they're looking to push into the road, and then blue has to counteract this by wrapping this way. But what's actually happening is instead of like blue wrapping the outside all the time, what red is doing to counteract this, because blue has advantage here, is red just pushes out wider and wider and wider, and then blue is chasing. So we have red, like one group of red, like way out here, and they are taking 2 to 3 groups of blue. So basically these groups are dead, this group is dead. We have 2 groups of red then pushing on the outside and also going inside the point and inherently getting value. So point is naturally ticking for red. And from a blue standpoint, the only way to win this, realistically, is to wait for this wrap to happen. Once this wrap happens, we have control maybe of like half the point now. And then you could look for a crash on the part that you control. So what that looks like is, like, best case scenario, we get like maybe this section of the pie. So every ice shower needs to be dropped on this yellow line to prevent red from just backing out and like avoiding a crash altogether when blue looks for a crash. And then you just have to like anchor into this spot over here. So what you see me doing most of the time in the war is I'm looking to play in this spot here, and I'm looking for showers on this side. And the reason why I've been doing that is because our IGVGs aren't able to play in this space anymore because Kill Squad is winning over here, and they're looking inward and they're just killing our IGVGs. So then the only class that could really live out here is either the flail or the tank with an ice shower. So I'm the only class that could really trap people in, which is why you hear me like calling like, hey, people are trapped, and I'm trying to get people to like follow up for kills. And like that's the only time you can actually look to go on the side of the point. And it's one of the big reasons why we tend to not get kills. And the thing that we're getting punished for is a lot of the time we have blue people, including myself, that are like pushing for this space. And this is like not safe space. Like the only spot for blue that's like really safe is like maybe this corner. Just from the natural like red pressure from Kill Squad and them doing a really good job. So blue's just generally at more risk because they have players that are playing closer to the point, inherently getting value on point, while our Kill Squad is wrapping and not getting value soon enough. So it just comes down to timing. Like the way that we win on these defenses that didn't happen there is we're waiting for Kill Squad to basically do something. And once Kill Squad does something, they win their fight and they bring it to point. what often you see is that we hard wipe COI, and when we hard wipe COI, they just get forced back to B. So that's why you see them do a lot of like hard resets, because they're going for a play that inherently will win with time, assuming our kill squad doesn't like get value off the point. But if our kill squad gets value off the point, we're just going to swing that pressure inward and just hard wipe them. For a long time, we were just swinging that pressure inward and consistently wiping them. But what they've been doing for these last couple ones is we're not getting consistent enough value with our point crashes, so they're constantly getting tick, and our kill squad isn't able to generate that pressure soon enough. So what it comes down to is point team basically just needs to live better, and then kill squad needs to wrap faster, and we're effectively having a race because it's a lopsided match and no one's mirroring. So it kind of got interesting. It's a different kind of meta, and the two kill squad kind of wider thing that was been used in EU for a while, kind of getting incorporated more in NA now, I guess, with spears being more dominant and then spear stepping inward, and then outside's been a little bit different. Sounds like a mess. It's just it's a numbers game with a mismatch is all it is, and the consequence of the mismatch is that we have two people basically circling around each other. Where attackers, in the case red here, will be pushing naturally this way, and then blue is pushing the other way, and it's whichever side wraps faster and gets value inward faster wins. And generally speaking, the side that's inward is closer to point, so it's easier for them to get value faster. But then if the outside wins, there's literally no space for the attackers to play. So, damn, I've been doing your work for like 6 months or so and didn't know I was missing out on this aspect. They all flow together. Like when you first get into the wars, like you're given your assignment and you're like, oh, you need to hold bot right, or oh, you need to hold bot left. But like there's a whole macro thing that plays into to everything that goes on here. Are IGVGs using Void Darkplate now? Is it even hard to live in Void Darkplate 300 con or 350 con? Yeah, you're like Void Darkplate 350 con. I think that's right. And then you have at least 50 focus and then 250 int probably. So it's probably 250 int, 50 focus, 350 con would be normal for IGVG. A lot of IGVGs are not really starting, but they've been going like Void Blade main, and then they throw on the IG as a secondary. IGVG's purpose now isn't really to be like a disease bot. It's mostly just to drop shower. And I don't think IGVGs are really prioritizing that right now. I'd really like to see an IGVG pumping some damage again, because like all the front line is pushed into 300 plus con. It is. Part of that is just spear kind of just shits on IGVG, and there's a lot of spears on point, so you need to be like tanky enough to live that. And then also if you're not on the point, like you're inherently not gonna get as much value. So like it's very point centric, and a lot of this is driven from classes that can be on point to prevent tick, and IGVG with higher cons better at that. How's it going, Granny? TLDR, ice shower more. Yep. So like from a point team perspective, like if we look at a roster, could I find like a war or something like that? It hasn't been slotted yet. So if I sign up for tenacity or something like that, I could probably show this a little bit. So like in terms of group 1, group 2, like these are points still. These are usually like left quads, and then we have right quads, and then we have either 2 or like this kill squad will be on weak side if you're doing a 1-3 split. So this could be weak kill squad, and then you have strong, which would be Oppo usually, and that's how like Prim would slot it, versus how COI is slotting it is you just split it down the middle and you do half left, half right. Also our top left quad like literally can't play the game. It's literally impossible to play in their spot. I don't know where they're normally playing. I think they're just playing top right, but yeah, crush just comes down to you need to ice shower more. But there's not many roles that actually can ice shower, right? Because right now people are slotting like 4 IGVGs. And those are usually the roles you think of like with ice showering, and the IGVGs are in the quad groups, right? So you have an IGVG in left quad, like bot left, bot right, top right. And if you have all 4 IGVGs like showering together, like you can effectively wrap people. Like if this is the point, you have IGVG here, that's a shower, that's a shower, that's a shower, that's a shower. Like effectively you could box people in and then people in the center die if they're playing properly. But the issue that we've been having is you can get a shower here, you can get a shower here, you can get a shower here, but there's no one here. And that's the spot I've been trying to fill. But even then, it feels like we're not really boxing people in super well. Why'd Prim give up Brightwood? Literally, people did not want to get on and defend it versus a company that wasn't very good. It was just an ego thing. It was the people didn't think the war would be good enough, so people didn't get on, and then we just lost it. Like for most of the players, it's about the content, not really about the war aspect. In hindsight, it's kind of troll now, because we don't have Brightwood to defend. Like now we have this, which is just like this is boring. We have to do this tomorrow, and then I guess we have to push COI, or we have to push back Brightwood so that we have the territory that COI can attack and we can attack COI. Like we basically just like shot ourselves in the foot in terms of content by giving that up. But a lot of people, including myself, are kind of too lazy to get on, so that's what happened. Quad DPS need to shower outside point more for crashes. I never see that happen a lot. That's the biggest issue right now. I think I was talking about this before the war happened, but my hot take was that a lot of the, before the war, that the IGVGs, like the old IGVGs, like they were really good and they should be good, but they fundamentally are not doing their jobs in this meta. And I don't know if that's because they don't have space to play, or it's because they just forgot how to play the game because I haven't played it in like 4 to 6 months. But like, there should be an IGVG top point that's looking to shower bottom of point. And like a lot of those players that used to do that, they weren't the people that you would think of being the best players. Like they were the people that would die a lot, but they would trap people and get kills. Like if you're just looking from a stat perspective, you're not going to see IGVGs like top left to point, dropping shower, probably dying because they're playing top left to point and then catching people on these giant crashes. Like those players are just naturally, if you look at stats, they're like naturally weeded out. So I don't know if we have a lot of patters slotted or what the current situation is. Like not accusing anyone of anything in particular, but like the issue right now is 80% we don't have ice showers where we need to be having ice showers. I don't know what's going on there. The crit change on VG might have a little bit to do with it. Can't really get those big cooldowns. I mean, it's not a big adaptation though. Like if this style of VG doesn't work, just throw in the Void Blade and just drop Ice Shower where it's needed. Like you don't have to go for Orb. Like Orb is a good ability, but you don't need it. They all just want a Void Blade now. I mean, it's fine that they go Void Blade as long as they drop the Ice Shower. Like to be honest, like the Orb, it's really strong. We always talk about it as being really strong, but it's not why IGVG is good. IGVG is good because you can drop Ice Shower in certain spots and trap people and get kills. Do you foresee Blunderbuss ever having a slot in a roster again? It should have had a slot in a roster before the Sundering stacks nerf in the last like 2 days ago. Like we were debating slotting BBVG again. With Sundering stacks because it did so much, it had so much utility and did so much damage. But now with that thing being nerfed, I don't think BB's like in a great spot. The main issue with BB, so BB was strong when you could use BB to counter Spear. BB's not good enough anymore to counter war grade spears. And if BB's not good enough to counter Spear, and Spear is the issue, why wouldn't you slot another spear to counter the spear, or why wouldn't you slot a fire staff to counter the spear? Like, there's no reason to basically use BB if it's not good enough to counter the class that is contesting BB's slot. You really think Stacks is dead? Yes. It's instantly dead with the current change. There's no debate about it. Like, does someone have a Sundering Stacks weapon in Windsward and then they just come outside and hit me with it? Like, I'll show you it's dead. Especially if people run Invig, it's completely dead. If people don't run Invig, it's like kind of dead. It's like it's not terrible in a 1v1 situation, but in an AoE situation, it's very, very bad. It is arguably better than Attunement, but it's basically worse compared to everything else they could run. Oh wait, you're on Val? Yeah, I'm on Val right now. My company doesn't have any spears that set a kill squad. Spears are being slotted in quads right now. It's usually 2 bruisers, an IGVG, and a spear. But do point spears look like a run? It's not point, it's quads, and the quad spears end up playing on point. I assume they're on like they're heavy. Well, actually they could be medium. I don't know if they're heavy or medium. Actually, they're probably medium if they're with hatchet. Like if you run it with hatchet, you're probably playing medium with tumbler. If you're heavy, you're probably with SNS, and if you're with SNS, you're probably off the point. So yeah, it's probably with hatchet and medium. Yeah. Just got back. What are the best slots for bruisers? I'm getting cooked in OPR. The meta right now is to run a lot of Enchanted Ward because Elemental Aversion will not save you enough to live in crashes. So you might as well just run Enchanted Ward because the only thing else that's really hurting is like auto attacks. Like Fire Staff is good, but it's not usually the reason why you're dying. And Elemental Aversion's like usually slotted for anti-Dedo stuff. Does someone have Val have the Sundering stacks at all? I'll be there in a sec. Okay. But I had this up earlier, but the issue with Sundering stacks now is it has a 0.5 second activation cooldown and it doesn't refresh. So it's basically just a worse version of Plague Crits. The nice part is it takes up the elemental slot, which is kind of useless usually. So like that's the only reason why it would be viable is because there's nothing else to contest the slot, but it's overall not very good. So it has a maximum stacks of 5. It doesn't refresh every time it's applied. It has a 0.5 second activation cooldown, which means it's not being applied from AoEs. It's not being applied from every auto attack, most likely. It's lasting for 6 seconds and it's just going to fade away after that. It's very unlikely for you to be able to stack a lot of these on a single person anymore. If they removed the non-refresh, would you run it on Fire Staff? If they removed if the refresh was added, it would basically be as good as Plague Crits. And then in that case, I think it would be good and it would be balanced. Like the 2 ways for you to balance this is you have the activation cooldown, but you let it refresh, in which case it's generally good in 1v1s, but it's not as good as with AoEs. Or you had what they had before, which is you don't have an activation cooldown, but you don't let it refresh, in which case it expires pretty fast. Honestly, I think it was less OP than it should have been, but there were some bugs around it that made it pretty strong. It was good with BB, obviously, because you could apply like 6 stacks at once. And now BB will only apply 1 stack at once. That's what the activation cooldown thing does. What Crush and I were talking about at one point before they nerfed it, which I thought would be kind of smart, is that they figured out a way to like let it apply to like say 3 people in a clump before the activation cooldown procced. Like that would be a good hybrid system. But as of right now, the way the perks work, perks aren't very good with AoEs. But yeah, they removed the non-refresh. I think it would be better. Sundering Stacks pre-update was melting people in Wars. Yeah, the reason why it was so strong in Wars is if you dropped Meteor Shower on the point and you left the Meteor Shower and you went back in and applied another stack. And then like Great Axes also applied a stack. So it was very easy to apply a lot of stacks during a crash. But the flip side to that was it lasts 6 seconds, right? Like this perk, it lasts for a base duration of 6. And I have 4 invig on right now, right? So 16 times 4, so 64. So 1 minus 0.64, and then times that by 6. So those stacks are lasting for 2 seconds on me, and then they were all expiring. So it wasn't really that annoying for me to deal with, but it was annoying for other people to deal with that didn't really build around it. But that's what you should see here is will like apply stacks to me, and then they'll just go off like very, very quickly, and the number won't ever get up that big. So like he's getting the 2 stacks, and that's it. Like 1 to 2 stacks. And this is me with Relentless, so I'm like squishier than normal. But it's like it doesn't last for any amount of time now. And if it's like an AoE, like it's gonna be even worse. At least the disease is lasting, because the disease on Flail actually has the activation cooldown. Like it has the refresh duration on the auto attack if you have the plague gem and Flail. So that part's like a little bit better, but yeah, the rend is not nearly as good. Like from Sundering stacks. It's kind of crazy though, because it went from like one of the best perks, if not the best perk in the game, to like a really not so great perk. Like it's not terrible, but the only reason why it's not terrible is it's coded as an elemental slot, right? So you could fit it into most weapons. So if I have like refreshing move enchanted and I'm going for damage stuff, I have this last elemental slot that most people use for like attunement right now, or a weapon perk. And like this is proc, this is damage. So you use your proc, you use your damage usually, and then there's a last slot, and that's where elemental could be used. And people go for like attunement or something like that, and that's where Sundering stacks still could be better, but it's only going to be used there because there's not really anything else to use. But you could even see in like the 1v1 situation where Gent's hitting me with it, where it's not sticking for a long period of time. That being said, I do have like a bunch of invig, but like it's only getting to 2 stacks. Like it got to 3 once, I think, there. But it's not going to be that crazy. If we could have Sundering stacks over Enchanted, I mean, it might be a little bit better than Enchanted, because it works, like if you apply it to somebody, then other people around you also benefit from it. But Enchanted will probably not be more damage.